Hi everyone, my name is Joseph Lardizabal, an IB DP Theory of Knowledge, DP English B, and Cambridge Global Perspectives teacher from my current school milieu, Sekolah Bogor Raya, an international school within Bogor, Indonesia. Now, COVID-19 has been a huge and daunting impediment to the ethos of our school systems and has provided barriers to the instructional minutes of our students. We have shifted from on-site learning to online learning. I think if you're a teacher, you guys know this. I'm already on my 11th week of online learning, and it has been a roller coaster ride of learning how to motivate students and engage them better. One challenge, however, that demands attention would be the delivery of exams. Now, this short video is solely for the purpose of providing a way on how teachers worldwide can still use a specific online avenue for examinations. In my case, I use exam.net. Take note, this video is not a marketing ploy, nor is it an advertisement of this website. This is what has been introduced to me by one of my colleagues, Ibu Ninik, and she gave me this means to conduct my mock exams last week, and this will also be utilized by my school for our end of term examinations. So this is how it goes. Once you have accessed exam.net on the URL area of your browser, this is how it's going to look like. As you can see in this section, you would see two areas. You would have the student area and the teacher area. So if you want students to access your exam, they need to, collectively, your students need to enter the exam passcode here, okay? And for the teacher, this is what you need to do. You need to register your account first, okay? I think the registration part is very fundamental. It's very basic, so it wouldn't require a lot. This website is free, so be my guest. Register your account, and in my case, I'm going to sign in. So let me sign in my account. And this is how it would look like. Okay, welcome to exam.net. So there is a support link right here in case you encountered some form of inconvenience. And the next thing you need to do is to click on new exam. You can choose to create a new group, but this is just like a preliminary video. So in my case, I just finished my mock exams for Global Perspectives last week. So let's put it that way. Let's say the title would be Mock Exam Global Perspectives. Now, for the exam questions, I would rather have you all upload a PDF file just to organize your exam. It's better if you have like a file that is already set, okay? So if you are to create your exam, it's better that you create it on Word first or on a Google Doc and turn it into a PDF file. Well, that's just my preference, but let me show that to you. So in my case, let's say mock EOT or end of the term exam. So as you can see, if your PDF file is, or should I say contains more pages, it's gonna take more time to load. Mine only has 2 pages. So this is how it looks like. Okay, let me close this. And let's move on to the student information section. This is where you actually tick the boxes on areas which you would like the students to provide answers on. So these are just basic for any other examination that you would actually create as a teacher. So you have the first name, last name, class, and teacher name. Okay. In some cases, teachers would require the email address. In my case, not necessarily. You can also choose to make sure that the identities of the students are anonymous. So if you do have certain biases towards students, then you can choose to make your students' names anonymous. In my case, I prefer not to, just because I like to listen to the students' answers in not so many words. Whenever I look into what they've written, it's like I envision their words. It's like their spoken language comes out through their writing. In the student workspace, this is where you could actually make your exam subject specific, okay? In my case, I only ensure that the students have a writing area. If you are a Cambridge teacher and you would like to limit the number of words, be my guest. And if you are an English teacher, I would prefer that you turn the spell check off. You would like to see the raw answers or the raw essays of your students without the help of an online spell check. Now, for accessibility tools, this is mostly for English, or should I say language-based exams, audio files as well. For subject tools, this is, I believe, valuable for the technical subjects such as mathematics and sciences. You would see a drawing tool that you can actually put in your student workspace, a calculator. And if you need extra resources, then you can include that here. Now, moving on to the security. I'm not an IT teacher. However, one of the things that I love in exam.net is that when a student enters, or should I say, attempts to open another tab, the exam, or should I say the app itself, shuts down. Okay, it shuts down. And for the teacher, for you as a teacher, you would see that the student actually lost focus on the exam. So I'll show you guys that in a bit. But in my case, I would allow any browser, but prefer high security mode, just to allow all the Apple users out there to still have access to the exam. Okay, and look at this. Settings for lower security mode. Once a student actually attempts to open other tabs, or perhaps tries to close the browser, then the student will be locked out. And for the student to get back in, this is actually good because it would provide a way for the teacher to understand what happened. Perhaps the student did not intentionally exit the browser. Perhaps a blackout happened, or perhaps in the unfortunate circumstance, the computer or laptop shut down. So this is actually good because it's going to require an explanation from the student, and the student needs to wait for a number of seconds. Okay, but you as a teacher have the preference of such as this, like notify the teacher but don't lock the student. It's mainly up to you. In my case, I actually require explanation and wait for a minute. So the student will actually explain or plea his or her case to the teacher, and the student would have to wait for a minute. So here you go, create exam. And this is how it looks like. Okay, now let's see. if I click this is the first thing you're going to see. If you're going to actually have a student here, I mean, if students will access the passcode, you would see the names of the students in this section. And once they start the exam, or should I say before they even start the exam, you give them the exam key and you open the exam for the students, for them to get in the exam, or should I say have access to the exam. Are you sure that you want to open? So let's say no for now. And I would just like to show you a few things. If you do have a time limit, you can actually force submission. You can actually force submit the exam. You can set a timer for the students. And when you are done, you can download all the students' work as a Word file or a PDF file. So if you are a student, this is how it's going to look like. As you access the exam, you need to write in your name. So let's just say, yep, Joseph Lardizabal, class. Let's say if you belong to maybe a grade 8 class, I would say 8, let's say 8G. Okay, and your teacher is, let's say John Doe. Fetch the exam. And voila, this is how it looks like. As you can see, you could actually choose to maximize the exam page so you could see a better view. Once you've read the instructions, or once you've understood, you've understood what you need to do, you could pull this back up and start writing. If you have further questions from, let's say, to the teacher, you could actually chat the teacher from here. Okay. And once you're done, just click submit. So let's just say done. You click submit. And there you go. This is how it's going to look like from the teacher's point of view. And as you can see, if you're a teacher, you could go to the student answers or student answer, and you could actually look at the answers of the students directly. Okay. All right. So that is how exam.net looks like. If you want to explore more of its features, please do. It's a wonderful tool for all teachers out there to conduct their examinations online without the pressure of perhaps, or eliminating less, how should I say, the circumstances of cheating. And it also makes sure that the student is really taking an exam. It's like no different from the actual on-site exam. Now, the only thing that I would, I guess, advise you teachers to do is to perhaps access Zoom through your phones, or should I say, tell your students to access Zoom on their phones and mount their mobile phones somewhere behind them where you can actually see their screen and their keyboard, and of course the students, typing. So guys, that is it. And if this video has helped you, I do believe that you will definitely make sure that your students still have the same vibe and the same atmosphere of learning on site, even if we are doing it through online means. And that is a wrap, and hope this video has been very helpful. See you soon.